Hello, what's going on? My name is Alex McDonald from the Crossroads of America, and I just want to wish you a very happy Independence Day. We just put on a couple of events with Culture Shift Challenge. Make sure you check out Culture Shift Challenge. Amazing group. And we just put on Fort Unity at Pierre's on Sunday, June 25th, and Fort Unity on the river at Promenade Park on Saturday, July 1st. And it was such a fantastic time. And I just wanted to recap some of the things that I shared from stage, some of the lessons that I've been learning, and hopefully this video series will bless you, it'll bless our communities, and it'll help us become more united. And so on Sunday night, I talked about Abraham Lincoln and Ephesians 4. And then I'm going to do a video series over the next few days sharing these principles from Ephesians 4. First, I want to let you know that I was promoting in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was passing out flyers. I ended up at the Allen County Public Library downtown, and I walked into this Abraham Lincoln exhibit, and I was just like, wow, like this is one of the heroes that brought unity to our country. And he just happens to have an exhibit just the day before my event. I just happened to walk into it. I felt like that was such a blessing. I was so grateful for that. And I'm walking through there, looking at pictures, watching some videos, learning from the individual that was working there. And they handed me this little Emancipation Proclamation, and they said most of the slaves that were being freed, they did not have literacy. I'm actually reading a book by William B. Gold, and he was one of the few slaves that had literacy. So he was a journalist, he was a patriot. He has such a cool story. You got to check out his book, Diary of a Contraband. I don't want to get too far off track, but let me tell you about him real quick. Me and my wife, we went to this Bellamy mansion on our honeymoon, and then we went back to North Carolina on our first anniversary. We got to see this mansion, and the trim in that house was like the most phenomenal trim I'd ever seen. It was just immaculate. It was well crafted. And the gentleman, he was wearing some nice yellow shorts with wells on them. He had a really cool belt. Super sweet guy. We loved him. He starts telling us about William B. Gold. He said he was the carpenter, and he was the most skilled person in that community. So they hired him to do this trim, to do all the framing, do all the molding. And we were just blown away by the craftsmanship. But what happened, once he finished that house, he didn't want to be a slave anymore. He decided he was going to steal a boat. He was going to run away, take this boat down the river. He ended up joining the Navy. He ended up fighting in the Civil War. He ended up being elected politician. He was a journalist. And then his sons and grandsons and great-grandsons have served in politics. You can find William B. Gold IV currently serving. And just led to such a phenomenal family. And it all started with that choice. Was I am going to do whatever it takes to become free. I'm going to steal a boat. I'm going to run away. I'm going to join the Navy. Whatever it takes, I'm going to get free. And so I just want to encourage you, if you're watching this video, you should desire your freedom as much as William B. Gold. And you may be sitting here in America, July 4th, thinking, well, we're pretty free. Well, I want you to look up FedNow. I want you to look up the Patriot Act. I want you to look up some of these things that are going on in our country and how they're stripping our freedoms away. And we got to step up and we got to take a stand. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I think the time is right for us to act and to come together and unify. And that's why we put together these events, Fort Unity and Fort Unity on the river. And so if we want to unify, we got to learn from people like Abraham Lincoln, who brought people together, who put everything they had into their mission, and who created more freedom for more individuals. Abraham Lincoln was defeated several times running for politics. He had several family members pass away. He even got challenged to a duel. He made this guy mad, and the guy was really good with guns. And he challenged him to a duel. Somehow Abraham Lincoln talked his way out of it, didn't get his head blown off, and survived to fight another day. I think about the movie Friday. Craig's dad's like, don't use guns. If you fight with your hands, you live to fight another day. And so we can learn from William B. Gold. We can learn from Abraham Lincoln. And what I believe is that Abraham Lincoln learned from the Bible. And if we turn to Ephesians chapter 4, there's 4 principles that are talked about in this. And it sums it all up with, if you want to continue with unity, then you must bear these 4 principles, bear these 4 traits. And so what those four things are, and we'll be covering them in depth in the next few videos. Number one, humility. Abraham Lincoln was humble. He wasn't more about himself. He was more about the purpose, more about the country, more about each and every individual being free because they were created in the image of God. Number two, patience. Abraham Lincoln lost an election. Didn't matter. He's going to run the next one. He's going to win that one. He went through times of deep depression and not wanting to be alive. He pushed through it and he continued with this purpose. And so number two is patience. Number three is gentleness. There was times where Abraham Lincoln would need to reprimand a general or a soldier or somebody. And the story is that he would write some really harsh letters but never send them. And I quoted Abraham Lincoln wrong. It's actually Ben Franklin who said this. He said, "I will speak no ill of any man ever." And so I just want to challenge you to be gentle. You can point out things, but try to be gentle. And the last thing, the most important one, is love. Abraham Lincoln fought for freedoms of the slaves because he loved them in the image of God. He saw that they were created in God's image and that they also had inalienable rights. And so as we think about today, we got FedNow coming, we got President Biden doing some crazy stuff, and there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos. And what I believe, we need to practice those four things. We need to bear that fruit. And it doesn't just happen overnight. You got to get around people who bear that fruit. You got to learn from people who bear that fruit. You got to practice that and build that muscle up. You're not going to be patient right away. Maybe if you're an impatient person, it's that next chance where you're like, okay, I'm just going to be patient for 30 more seconds. And the next time I'm going to be patient for a minute. It's just like building up a muscle. We don't wake up as the most loving person in the world. We love and become more loving. And so I just want to challenge you to grow in those four things. You'll become more like Christ. You'll become more like Abraham Lincoln. You'll create unity in your community, starting with yourself, with your home, with your neighborhood, with your city, your state, and eventually the country and the world. And if we can all bear these fruits, imagine how much better the world would be if we could all be patient, gentle, humble, and loving. And when we do those things, we become more like Christ. We start to bring heaven down on earth, and we start to make this world a better place. And so I hope you check out the next few videos. They'll be a lot more brief than this one, but they'll be explaining more about humility and how you can bear the fruits of humility, more about patience, more about gentleness, and more about love. And a lot of this content I got from the YouVersion Bible app. There's a plan by Brittany Russ called Cultivating Unity that blessed me so much. So if you want to check that out, if you want to go through that Bible plan with friends, you can get on the YouVersion Bible app. It's free, and you can start that plan, invite some friends, and then start having a discussion around that. I would highly encourage you to do that because I think you'll be blessed by it. And I just am so excited. There was a lot of people that came to both events, a lot of people open to the idea of we can come together as a community. We can make this world a better place. We can make our places a better environment if we just strive for it. If we just come together and we just love each other, we be patient, we have humility, and we be gentle with each other. There's no telling what we could do, but we can make this a really beautiful place. We can shift culture. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and tune in for the next one. I'll be posting a video tomorrow all about humility. I love you guys. I'll see you at the top. So I'll see you real soon. Have a good day.